Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds, and let's talk about honey production and our latest giveaway that's fixing to come up. Let's get to the colony first, and then we'll talk about how you can enter yourself in to win what I think is going to be pretty awesome. All right, look at this down here. Now, these are not full honey production colonies. These colonies are actually for cell building, and a couple of these have our breeder queens in them. 2 out of our 3 breeder queens are in this section right here. That's why they're here. They're a lot easier to work. But look at these bees right here. They are fanning in this direction inside the hive. They are creating currents of air and forcing that nectar to dehydrate down into what we know and love as honey. Busy, busy, busy. Must be a carpenter bee up in the ceiling. All right, so we're going to get into this colony just a little bit. Our queen is down below. We have an excluder right here. So our queen, we know, is down here laying away, and throughout the swarming season, we take drawn combs and place them down there to ensure that she always has ample room to lay. This is really important because when the queens start running out of room to lay, that's when the colonies really want to start swarming. That does not mean if you give her an unlimited amount of room to lay, that they won't swarm, but it really retards the tendency towards swarming. All right. Let's see how they're doing honey-wise. Now, we have them drawing combs as well, and this is also beneficial in helping keeping the queen in laying room, because as they're drawing those combs that are in the second box, or drawing those foundations, that is taking resources. Instead of stockpiling nectar down below, they're bringing it up. And I've also pulled some brood up here, give her plenty of laying room down below. Shift these over a little bit. As you can see, I have 9 frames in these boxes. Once the colony gets 10 drawn foundations, whether it's your package or whatever it is, you can reduce your frames down to 9 for a brood chamber or 9 for a honey super. If you want for a honey super, some beekeepers will actually run 8s in the top, and you get some really fat honey supers. That way, it's really easy to uncap, and you get a lot of beeswax when you do that. As of right now, I'm just doing 9s for honey supers. I've tried 8s once or twice. I wasn't an incredibly big fan of it. Oh yeah, that frame's heavy. They're capping it off. Yeah, that's the stuff. You can see as they're starting to cap this right here. When they're doing that, this frame's ready to extract right here. That's a good sign this frame's ready to extract. Wow, that's just beautiful. That's a lot of honey right there. All right, we're going to set that out. We don't need to get into this top box a whole lot, so we're just going to go ahead and go on down. Oh yeah, that's what we want. Now, this is the box, like I said, that I really want to get to. It has the foundations in it, and it has some drawn combs, and those were to bring the bees up into this box and cause them to do their work in here and realize that, hey, we got all this extra cavity space in here, and there's no comb. Let's draw this out. So what we're going to do is rotate some of these foundations into the middle to help them draw them better. They're just starting on this outer frame here, but that's looking really good. So we are going to rotate that towards the middle. Now that they've started drawing these, you can do that. I wouldn't do it until they've really started drawing the box out pretty well. And this is going to help them just do their job better. The heat is more towards the center of the box. That's really nice. You know, they've got this one almost completely drawn, and ooh, it's got a decent bit of nectar in it too. Yeah, they're just filling it up. It's amazing what the bees do. And again, these colonies are not honey production colonies. I've already made a 5-frame nuke off of each one of these colonies here. Those Hawaiian queens, if you watch some of our videos we did in Hawaii, I took those 5 Hawaiian queens and I took a nuke off of each one of these and then one other colony. And that was intentional to keep these a little bit smaller, because I definitely don't want these breeder queens swarming on me. This one, excuse me, this one down in here, this is her 3.5 seasons that she's been around. One of them is 4 years old. She's got a white dot, was raised early in 2016. Holy smokes, that's just nothing but honey. That breaks my heart right there. If you're one of our honey customers, you got that to look forward to. We're going to take these honey frames, we're going to move them towards the edge. Yeah, that one's pretty full. Oh, and they're dehydrating all that down. So we're basically just flipping, inverting what's in the middle to the outer frames location, and then taking the outer frames and moving them inward. Alright. This will really help get you some good straight drawn combs. And so now what I'm going to do is take this frame here, stick it here. This one hasn't hardly been drawn. This one's been drawn a pretty good bit, so we're going to stick it over here. Let's see, and this other honey frame, we're going to stick it right here. Man, if this honey flow keeps up, we very easily could get a deep box of honey here, a deep box of honey, which we've almost got anyways out of this one, and that is a lot of honey. Now some people are going to tell you a box like that's like 100 pounds. Nah, it's not. It's more like a bag of concrete. Plastic foundation makes it a little bit heavier, so we're probably looking at, I want to say about 80 pounds. Between the frames, the box, the plastic foundation, and the adhering bees, you know, it might be a little over 80 pounds with the bees. But once you take all of the box weight out of it and the frame weight out of the foundations, all that, and you have the honey, I'm going to say you're somewhere between 4.5 and 5 gallons of honey, depending on how you have your frame spaced and how full the frames are. Also, if they're sticking bee bread in this honey, and bees will do that quite a bit, they will fill a frame half full, 3/4 full of bee bread, and then they'll get the cell, you know, about 3/4 deep with bee bread, and then they'll pack the top with nectar and honey basically, and make it into honey, and that helps preserve that bee bread. So when you extract, you're not getting, you know, the full depth of the combs and out of honey, but then again, you are getting trace amounts of pollen into your honey, which is really good stuff. All right, let's get back to this hive. Excuse me, get out of the way. All right, so let's see. These are both about the same degree drawn, just a little bit. And if you have a lot of bees on the frames, you can just shake them like that. You can see that nectar coming out of them. Those poor drones are so fat they can't hardly flip over. There you go. They're probably full of honey too, if I know a drone. Those things are always hanging around where the food's at, just like my son Jimmy. Alright, let's go down to the next box a little bit and just see how the queen's doing. Make sure she's not swarming on us. Whew, yeah, we're going to make some honey this year. If we can just keep this rain away, it's supposed to rain the next 3 days. I'm not super excited about that. Now some people will tell you you can't make honey with an excluder, and that's not true. It's just like any tool. If you use it wrong, then it is no good. Now some people also say that the queen does not have enough room in the bottom box to lay to her full potential. And with the right kind of management, as long as the bees have room to place stuff out of her way, they do all right. They keep it cleared below. She has plenty of room to lay. And like I said, we can, as you get a bank of those drawn combs, and again, those things are so valuable. I don't know why people are so insistent on telling hobby beekeepers, after 3 to 5 years, throw those combs away. These combs are so old that I have some of them. I mean, a lot of these right here, I'm looking at them and they're over a decade. Not all of them. And we obviously want new combs, but don't throw them away prematurely. Oh yeah, there's just eggs all down in there. You can see how there's not a whole lot of foodstuffs down in this frame. There's some nectar over in here, but they're trying to clear that out and giving them that space above. They really need to have the combs already drawn so they can put the main stuff like the top box, and then the bottom box alleviates a couple of their things that can cause them to want to swarm, which is backfilling the brood nest with nectar. They've got all this honey coming in. They start filling in her space. They start swarming because she's not laying a whole lot. And then on top of that, we're alleviating all the wax that they naturally create when you have all this nectar coming in. They make all this wax, and so they're being able to get rid of that wax by drawing new combs for us. So that's awesome for us, awesome for the bees. That's just great. Alright, we don't need to check a whole lot. Honestly, if I was not doing this video, I would just peek underneath the box. I just kind of want to see a little bit of the brood patterns down here and see what we have. Let's try this frame right here. This is an old comb. There's a little bit of foodstuffs in there. You can see all the bee bread up here and around the corners and everything. Alright, let's finish this up. That's got a lot of capped combs on it. This is what I really want to see. Yeah, there's brood all on this frame. But look at that right there. So she's laying real good. There's a little bit of nectar down in here, but this is an edge frame. Now last week I gave her 2 drawn combs completely empty right in here, so she's laying those up. And probably next week I'll come back and pull a couple of these that have eggs or larvae in them and stick them above, and then replace them with some drawn combs or something. Because this is one of our best queens, and we don't want her to want to swarm on us. We want her to keep laying. Plus, I need to be able to go in here when I'm grafting and find the larvae at the right age and be able to graft. Which, in like our next video or our video after the next one, we will be showing you how to graft for backyard queen rearing. And it is really easy if you know how to do it the right way. And we're going to help you do that. Show you the tool that we use and try to get some really up close little shots so you can see what's going on and know what to look for. And I'm telling you, you start raising your own queens, it really changes the dynamics of your potential sustainability in your bee yard. Alright, we're going to stick this frame here because it had the nectar in these cells here in the middle, and because they have room above and they're drawing combs, since it's going to be more in the middle instead of the outside, those bees are not going to like having that in there, and they're going to try to move that up into the upper boxes, and that's going to help clear that frame out so that the queen can lay that up. Alright, so let's get this put back together and talk about our giveaway. Yeah, some of our honey production colonies are big ones. They're 5 deep boxes, and they're quite the challenge for me to be able to handle. Get away from me, bee. Oh, goodness. Deep boxes are really heavy when they're full, especially for honey production. Just keep that in mind. There's no reason why you can't use all mediums. I like having the same frames though. It makes life so much better. Try to get all this debris off of here. Oh snap. Alright, so on our giveaway, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We are going to be only doing the post under this video here. So if you want to be part of the giveaway and get a chance to win a brand new American-made stainless steel Dadant smoker, then you need to leave your name below, or you can just leave a comment below. That'll work. You can say "Roll Tide" if that makes you feel better. No, you don't have to. It'd make me feel better though. But just leave a comment below. Thanks everyone who subscribed. We have been growing like crazy, and it's a lot due to you all. I'm sharing our videos. Thank you. If you want to help us out, share the videos. If you find a couple that you like, and leave that comment below. If you have any questions or comments, always leave those below. And the announcement on the winner is going to be on the first day in June. So again, leave a comment below. If you want to help, send out some of our videos to some of your Bee Club buddies or whatever. Thanks so much, and let us know where you're from. It's really neat to see where everybody's from. Thanks for watching.